ask is, just get the mic sorted.
Oh, okay.
That's good. Thank you very much. The first question I want to ask is, how are you today? How did you find getting here?
I only have 10 minutes away, so it's quite convenient.
That's good. That's good. I think it's beautiful, like the art that you have, and the way that you're glorifying God with your gift. How would you say that started? What was the starting point for you in terms of art and finding out your gift? And yeah, just tell us a bit about that.
So I've always wanted to create. I just enjoyed drawing. I guess my earliest memory of drawing was just, I remember sketching my dad. He was watching news and he had fallen asleep. And I had just sketched it and with biro pen. And my siblings and my mom were like, "This is amazing, Luna. Like, this is a really amazing sketch you've done." And I think that from a very young age, Agape encouraged me to keep creating and drawing. And I think I've just always done it since. I have pulled myself into many different things, but creating art is something I have always done.
Thank you very much. I've got like a little bit of a resume here of all the things that you've done, so I'm going to read it out. Please don't be embarrassed, but you were featured on Sky's Portrait Artist of the Year. You collaborated with Black Women Artists Network on poetry and paint, and your work was also exhibited at the Africa Centre. Could you talk us through maybe a few of those things, maybe one or two? How did that happen? How did opportunity come? What steps did you take?
I'm someone that always likes to apply for things, and then when God blesses me with the opportunity, I'm like, how did I get it? And so I've always just like putting myself out there. For Portrait Artist of the Year, I think I'd watched the show maybe twice, and someone reached out to me on Instagram, so I just applied. I didn't actually expect myself to get it, because I was knee-deep in exams at the time. I was at university. So when I did get it, I went on set and it was just an amazing experience. I think I was the youngest person there. So doing that was just, I remember the day before just praying and crying out to God, like, God, if this opportunity you want me to do it, please give me bravery, don't give me the spirit of fear. I think like this thing today, I was very, very nervous about it for a whole month. But I knew that as long as I'm here and I'm present and I just let God speak, like the reason I'm here is for people, not for me, myself. So yeah, to answer your question, how do I get these opportunities? Simply by applying. And then I believe if it's God's will, I will get it. And then I worry about the rest later.
Yeah. You talked about crying out to God in terms of like, how, Lord, can I do this? And I think that kind of links to this picture here. I understand that this is the prayer wall.
Yes.
Could you tell us a bit about it? How did it come about? This personally is one of my favorite pieces. So if I'm a bit biased, sorry, I put my hands up, but this is a beautiful piece. Tell me a bit about it.
So it's called Prayer Wall because it's meant to be an interactive piece. There's actually sticky notes at the back. And the intention of the painting was, so this figure here is supposedly in a prayer position. I believe that you can pray in any way. Prayer is a form of worship as well. The reason I left the background black was so you can write like prayers on it, and dark black symbolizes darkness, and light symbolizes the words. I believe prayers are like conversations of hope with God. And then the small fragments in the background, I've had a lot of people say they look like, someone said it looks like poo, but it's actually microscopic grains of sand.
I don't think that one.
It's microscopic grains of sand. I just remember seeing it, I was like, how can sand look like that under microscope? They look like jewels. And it's representative of the scripture where it says God has thoughts of us that outnumber the grains of sand. So I thought to put that in there. And the mountain, that was just like a random thought that came to mind, and I thought it suited it really well. So it was just a bunch of different ideas that had come together. And yeah, that's Prayer Wall.
Yeah, and I think with the mountain, something that's beautiful about that is that if you read Luke's gospel, it talks about Jesus going to the mountains to pray. So that really links with that. Maybe that's where the inspiration comes. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's beautiful. In terms of like doing these things, in terms of art, you mentioned that you're at university. It must have been a struggle trying to do art at the same time, trying to expand on your gift, but also study as well. Were there any other challenges and triumphs that you found with your gift?
I think it just, when you focus your mind on one thing, it's hard to do it well. Hard to do other things well. So I think for me, it was with university, I knew I'm just going to give myself that space and time to study, work hard. But art is something that's a passion and I always crave doing. I don't think I could go a year without painting. But I think earlier I was very much putting a lot of pressure on myself, but now I've like matured in my faith, matured in who I am, matured in my identity and what art truly means. It might be controversial, but I don't actually see art as a gift, I see it as a talent, and then the spiritual gifts that aid that. But just that, your question, I think as in managing creativity and managing life and other responsibilities, it's more so just giving yourself breaks and knowing that when you have a clearer mind and you're more at peace of what you're currently doing, then the time and the space to create will come. Yes, it's less pressure.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And you mentioned that some of the work that you do is inspired on scriptures.
Yes.
Was there any other inspirations in terms of using art, which is your talent, you said? Were there any other inspirations that you found? Maybe people that guided you, or maybe Michelangelo or something like that? What inspirations would you say that you had in terms of your talent?
You mean like specific artists?
Specific artists, maybe events that happened?
Oh, music is becoming a really big theme.
Okay.
I'll listen to a song and then ideas will come, like the painting I'm currently working on is called Tend, and it's about just, I think I'll just listen to the song and I was reflecting about the heart and what the heart truly means, and just how gentle the idea of love is, so kind of suits the theme today. So yeah, music is a big influence, I think, at the present moment. Also just moments of stillness, reflecting on like interactions or conversations I've had during the day. I recently did a series called Movement, which was about interviewing people within the running community and their stories and then capturing that into a portrait. So yeah, people's stories also the work I create.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And then I guess maybe the hard part of stewarding a talent such as art and maybe music as well, you might have maybe artist block, I don't know if that's the term, but writer's block. Is that something that maybe you've experienced before and you're crying out, God, like how can I get out of this, or not? You're smiling maybe or something?
No, yeah, I'm smiling because I agree. But it's like, that was me when I was trying to create in a forceful way. Now what I describe my art process as is peaceful submission. So even if I feel like there's no ideas or I don't feel like I have the energy to create, I just wait. And in that waiting period, it's with meditating on the word, just doing other things, and then it will just come, like a flow, no rush. And it's like the Holy Spirit's encouragement of, now you can create, and now's the time.
Yeah. Maybe a personal question. Are you taking like lessons? Like, is anyone that's teaching you? Do you teach people? Because I'm trying to start learning how to draw, guys. Like, I really need to. But like, have you been helping other people? You say that there was the steps that you needed to take in terms of peaceful submission. Are you helping other people? Are there other people helping you?
When you said that, my sister said I should start watching YouTube videos about how to paint. Because I like to watch. I recently tried to get into chess, so I was trying to watch videos on how to play chess. She's like, maybe you should do that about art and improve your art. I used to paint a lot of portraits. There's like a few portraits over there. Okay. So I do want to start learning more technique. I've always just painted off of what I see. My highest level of education art is GCSE, and there's not been much since then.
Wow.
About helping people, I mean, if anyone wants to know how to paint or videos, I'm happy to encourage and
And then maybe finally then, what advice would you have for someone who has a talent to draw, to paint, maybe music as well? How would you go about helping them steward it? What would you say to them? What advice would you give maybe to your younger self?
I would say, firstly, think about why you have it and what it helps you with. Initially, maybe your therapy, maybe the way you outlet emotions you might find hard to express to people, but then really delve into it and think, how can faith be intertwined with this? How can it be used as not only for you, like this is something you've been blessed with, but how can it be something that will also bless other people? And then I think that way, when you're like, who you're asking those questions to is not yourself, it's to God, right? Then God will be the one to then guide and tell you, okay, this is the type of music you should create, this is the type of art you should create, or the people you should collaborate with, or the ideas, and you'll find then there's more joy in it as well.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Before we go, we know that you have a stand at the